So, just to recap, in this chapter we are studying about Ashtanga Yoga. Studying about Ashtanga Yoga, right? So, Ashtanga Yoga can be simply defined as the art of controlling your mind and your senses, right? So, now you see, I will say, how is this relevant to me? This was spoken how many years ago? 5,000 years ago. Something that was spoken 5,000 years ago. How is it relevant to me? Why do I need Ashtanga Yoga? Inability to meet the deadlines, and so many such problems we face because our mind is not controlled. We sit down to do check what's the notification, and from there begins the um, vicious cycle of scrolling, mindless scrolling. There is a term in psychology that is called task paralysis. You woke up from sleep, you're still on your bed, and you heard your uncontrolled mind, your intrusive thought that said, check your notifications. What did it say? Check your notifications. And that begins 1.5 hours or 2 hours of mindless scrolling. You are not enjoying the reels that is coming on your feed. You don't want to watch it, but you are just watching it because task paralysis. Like inertia of motion, until and unless opposite, Prabhu, physics, what is it? Equal and opposite force is acted upon. Similarly, until and unless it's 8:45, you have to be there in class by 9 o'clock. Unless there is some sort of emergency, you don't want to stop your mindless scrolling. Like there is an emergency. So see, because no matter what we do, spiritual or mundane, spiritual or material, a controlled mind will always be our best friend in order to complete our task. And what will be the case if our mind is uncontrolled? Enemy. It will become our enemy, because a friend would want what? That we excel in life, we succeed in life, and an enemy would want he should fail, he should not get any success, he should not have any friends. Similarly, a controlled mind would say, don't check your notifications until and unless at least you are ready. An uncontrolled mind will say, check your notification. What will it say? Check your notifications. Therefore, it is very important to control our mind. Then again, what do we mean by controlling our mind? See, in the yoga process, we will face many distractions. We'll face many distractions, right? Like a lot of challenges, I would say. We are prescribed to chant at what time of the day? Brahma Muhurta, early mornings. And at that very time, we will feel most sleepy. Usually, chanting, which is supposed to be Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, it will be Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Like that we will chant. We are taking a vow that at least I will read one verse of Bhagavad Gita every day. That very day, your boss will give you so much work, you won't be able to eat at least 2 meals a day. So many challenges you will get. Then what to do? Should we say that we should wait for that perfect day when all the stars and moons will be arranged in such a way that it will be favorable for you to perform all your spiritual activities? You will do it, cut short, back to Godhead. Is that how it's going to work? Do you think a sailor waits for that perfect smooth sea to start the voyage? Do you think a pilot waits for that clear sky when there will be no turbulence? When there will be no turbulence, so that the pilot will take off? Is it like that? No. What happens? The flight will take off at the time it is scheduled. Then what if there is a turbulence? We will go through, we'll persevere. Right? So when we have a controlled mind, it helps. Tam stitik sashwa bharata. If there is a controlled mind, you are not affected by the temporary appearance and disappearance of happiness and distress. Well, today everything is going well. Okay, it's Krishna's mercy. Today everything is not going well. Krishna's mercy. Right? So when we are Krishna conscious, when we are reading Bhagavad Gita, it gives us an attitude to persevere, right? So we read about Ashtanga Yoga and controlling your mind. Ashtanga Yoga has two parts, the primary and the secondary. Primary is the beginning stage and secondary is the advanced stage. Yoga Ruddha. So Yoga Ruddha is the one who is completely purified of material desires. He can give up Nishkama Karma Yoga and practice Ashtanga Yoga exclusively. Like he doesn't have any a Yoga Ruddha who is completely situated, who is completely determined to practice Ashtanga Yoga. He has no material desires. No such thing, like Dhanam Janam Sundarim. No such desires. I want material success, material gain. No such desires. He is over those. How can you will say, brother, please talk something sensible. In this Sunday evening, I could have done many good things, and I have decided to come and sit here in your basement in Brooklyn, and there is a bog walking on the wall. And you are telling me there is something more blissful than getting a job in a big company, than taking a tour around Europe, than going in a first class flight from here to India and back. What are you talking about? These are the material happiness, which is a perverted reflection of the real happiness that is available in the spiritual world. In the spiritual world, whatever happiness is there and whatever happiness we are getting in the material world, it is completely different. Though the nature, like whatever we are getting, you see, when I say, okay, partying makes me happy. Partying makes me happy. Drinking alcohol makes me happy. Right? Think deeply. Anything anything material which you believe makes you happy, think about it deeply. Journal a little bit. It comes with unlimited distress. Comes with unlimited distress. Let's take the first example. Drinking makes me happy. A little energetic. We have prasada after. Drinking makes me happy. Drinking makes me happy. Okay. So those 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours will make me happy, because it will help me escape from the reality of my life. Whatever is happening, well, I don't have a job, my teacher is not giving me grades, college is expensive, I don't know how to cook, all those problems that we face, for those 3 hours we will escape from the reality. But what will happen when the high, when the drunk thing, what do you call it? The nasha, what do you call it in English? Huh? Trip. Tipsy. Tipsy. When that thing goes off, what will happen? We are again back to reality. And then begins one full day of rest and recovery. My roommates in college, they say that if they drink on Saturday, they will say, Sunday, please, anything above 20 decibels should not be there around my house. If I speak in normal, say, don't speak like that. Murmur in my ears. Then there is this headache that goes on for so long. And there was this sorry, that's the term I was looking for. Hangover. I was traveling, I was in dhoti kurta, I was traveling in India one day. Then this person said that, sir, आप महाराज जी, आप कुंडली देखते हैं क्या? बोला, हाँ देखते हैं ना. दिखाओ. बोला, कुंडली ने हाथ पढ़ लेते हैं. हाथ दिखाओ. ओह, तुम्हें तो लिवर सिरोसिस होने वाला है? कैसे पता चला? 11 बजे तुमने पी रखी है. It's 11 o'clock and you are drunk. I can smell alcohol from here. So definitely you are going to get liver cirrhosis. Right? So whatever little things, that material things that make us happy, is not real happiness, because it comes with unlimited distress. That's why an Ashtanga yogi lives all desires for material happiness and seeks spiritual desire. How can you get rid of material desire? By seeking, when you acquire a higher taste, you discard the lower one. Right? Suppose I want to give you an example. You will say that eating, no, that won't be right example. You will say that eating just sugar, I will take 1 spoonful of sugar and eat it, and it's the best thing in the world, right? I will say, don't eat. You will say, no, I will eat. I will say, you will say, I will eat. I will say, well, what if I give you something better? What if I make you shahi tukda, which is made with rabdi and ghee and some dry fruits? How will that be? But the condition is, don't eat what? Sugar. No sugar. No sugar. Yes, shahi tukda. Okay, done deal. Then what? He acquired a higher taste. That's why it was helpful for him to get rid of the lower one. Similarly, when we acquire a desire for spiritual happiness, that will give us a strong purpose. That will give us a strong purpose to discard the lower desires that we have. Right. So today we are going to take this verse 6.8. We discussed till 6.7 last week. Do we read the purport or no? We read the purport. Okay. So everyone can repeat after me. Jnana Vijnana Triptatma Kutastho Vijitendriyaha Yuktiti Uchyate Yogi Samalostrashma Kanchana. Translation. How long do we go? 8 or what? 8. What's the time? 7? Okay. Translation. Would someone like to read?
A person is said to be established in self realization and is called yogi or mystic when he is fully satisfied by the virtue of acquired knowledge and realization. Such a person is situated in transcendence and is self controlled. He sees everything, whether it be pebbles, stones, or gold, as saying. As
3
saying.
things what? Okay. Now we are talking something either serious or really disturbing. Right? Purport.
Book knowledge without realization of the supreme truth is useless. This is stated as follows.
अतः कृष्ण नामादि न भवेद ग्रहयम इंद्रिया सेवन्मुखे हि जिह्वादौ स्वयं एव स्फुरति अधः.
No one can understand the transcendental nature of the name, form, quality, and pastimes of Sri Krishna, though his materially contaminated senses. Only when one becomes spiritually saturated by transcendental service to the Lord are the transcendental name, form, quality, and pastimes of the Lord revealed to him.
Thank you. So here Prabhupada is saying that book knowledge without realization of supreme truth is useless. In short, everyone in this room with all your big degrees from big universities is
Useless.
sorry, I don't mean to offend anyone. Let's think about it deeply, right? So we all were in kindergarten, and now either we are pursuing masters, PhD, post PhD, or working in this room, right? So tell me, you are happy, you are more happy now, or you were happier when you were in kindergarten? More happier now, or happier back when you were in second grade? Playing hide and seek, completely unbothered about exams, right? Are you more happy now when you get a long weekend, or when you were back in 5th grade and used to get 3 months of summer holidays? 3 months, can you imagine? We get ecstatic symptoms knowing that we have 3 days off. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday off. People go crazy, knowing, oh my god, this is a long weekend, I'm gonna go conquer the world. Huh? Back then we used to get 3 months of brainlessness, of mindlessness. My friends used to go do some summer class, learn coding back in 6th grade. I used to play cricket 3 hours twice a day, 6 hours of cricket. Well, So my point is, book knowledge, the mundane knowledge that is taught in college is useless because it doesn't teach us how to get over the miseries of life, death, old age, and disease. You know, it won't teach you. It will teach you that, okay, coming back to the point. So we have a lot of knowledge. We went to college. We worked so hard. hmm, we finished our assignments, got an A in most of the classes. Some people have a 4.0 GPA. So are we happy now? People who have graduated with a 4.0 GPA, are we happy now? What's wrong? We have a 4.0 GPA. We have understood every syllable in the book that was given. You tell me the problem, I will sing you the code. And if there is a bug, I will give you $100. We know all the knowledge, but why are we still not happy? Because the knowledge that we have doesn't teach us about the supreme truth. What is the supreme truth? The supreme truth about how to get rid of the four miseries of life, death, old age, and disease. Punarapi janamam, punarapi maranam, punarapi janani jathare. You're born, you will die, you will again another new mother, another new womb. This cycle is going to go on. The knowledge that we gain, it doesn't teach us how to seize this cycle, of material suffering. That's why this knowledge is useless. Because the knowledge that we gain is like drinking. You want to go from one place to another. You have a bunch of energy drinks. You are drinking energy drinks one after other and walking on a treadmill. You are walking a lot. Sweat is coming out. The reader, the what the screen says you have already walked 3 miles, 4 miles, but you were nowhere. Yatha purva tatha param. Wherever you were before, that's exactly where you are. So that's what is happening, that since we are not able to get the happiness that we want, it is useless. It doesn't fulfill our purpose. Then it is said that if you want to know Krishna, no one can understand the transcendental nature of the name, form, quality, and pastimes of Sri Krishna through his materially contaminated senses. Tell me, what is a materially contaminated senses? We cannot read without our glasses something material. We cannot read a book without our glasses. Forget about seeing God without these eyes. Our senses are so defective. How, if we are not able to perceive something from this world with the senses that we have, how can we see something that is completely out of the world with the senses that we have? Right? So how do we know? Only when one becomes spiritually saturated. Please pay attention to this word, saturated, by transcendental service to the Lord, are the transcendental name, form, quality, and pastimes of the Lord revealed to him. So when I was reading this, 2 words seemed very important to me. Like in social studies, when we used to write answer, there was something called as a keyword. We used to highlight those, make an underline with a black pen, something like this one is important. If the teacher sees these 2 words, she will give me marks. So saturated and revealed. Saturated means completely placed in Krishna consciousness. Completely, like you have no desire for material happiness, and you have arranged your day in such a way that your day revolves around Krishna. Your day revolves around the higher purpose. Your day does not revolve around how I can please me, me and myself. मैं कैसे खुश रहूंगा, मेरे पिता कैसे खुश रहेंगे, मेरा बेटा कैसे खुश रहेगा. These are the 3 things we worry about. I have a friend, he is 1 year younger to me. What he is? 1 year younger to me. And he works, I told him, Baba, why do you work hard? Because I want my son to look up to me. Okay, but maybe there can be something bigger to work hard for. Your son would anyway look up to you. Like it's very rare chances that your son will say, no, I don't like you, go, get me a new dad. You won't say that जो मिला है मेरा ही बाप है, जैसा है पर मेरा है. So let's have a bigger purpose to work. That is to get rid of the 4 miseries of life. Anyone, someone else would like to read? Right.
This I have a question. Sorry. You said 4 miseries of life. What are the 4 miseries of life?
Life, death, old age, disease. Janma, Mrityu, Jara, Vyadhi. Birth, death, old age, disease. Do you want me to explain in detail about the 4 miseries? Okay, seems like they understood.
It could be like connection.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Old age and
Disease.
Disease.
like food.
So, yeah,
Yeah.
go ahead.
This Bhagavad Gita is a science of Krishna consciousness. No one can become Krishna conscious simply by mundane scholarship. One must be fortunate enough to associate with a person who is in pure consciousness. A Krishna conscious person has realized knowledge by the grace of Krishna because he is satisfied with pure devotional service. By realized knowledge, one becomes perfect. By transcendental knowledge, one can remain steady in his convictions. But by mere academic knowledge, one can easily be deluded and confused by apparent contradictions. It is the realized soul who is actually self controlled because he is surrendered to Krishna. He is transcendental because he has nothing to do with the mundane scholarship. For him, mundane scholarship and mental speculation, which may be as good as gold to others, are of no greater value than pebbles or stones.
Thank you. So, what we are learning here, what we are trying to discuss is the science of Krishna consciousness. Bhagavad Gita is nothing but the science of Krishna consciousness. Therefore, you see that if we read a lot, why do we have study groups? Even you see in the world out there, people have book clubs. Why do you have book clubs? Because if I simply try to understand, let's take a very mundane example. Okay, so if you are reading a mystery novel, murder mystery, murder thriller, or what's some other genre of novels? No, we don't read that. No, we don't read that either.
Romance novels.
No, not that either. Suspense. Suppose we are reading something like a suspense thriller, right? And we are trying to read it alone in my room. I will read, okay, what happened first episode, I understand. Second episode, third episode, I didn't quite understand. Let's move on to fourth. Fourth is little bit understood. Fifth is completely off the head. Sixth, seventh, what is happening here? You won't be able to understand a novel which speaks about a completely made up mundane story by yourself. There's a very high chance. If you are like super laureate, know everything, that's a different thing. But I'm speaking for myself. If I try to understand, like I won't. So that's why people have book clubs. They come together, they read, and they discuss. Actually, so you are able to understand, right, why the person killed him here. You don't, because it's mentioned in the second chapter. That's how when you discuss, when you come in association, you are able to understand the subject matter better. Number one. Number two, but since this is spiritual, here we are seeking for association of a person who has realized the spiritual knowledge. It's not just about some story that we are going to listen together. But it's just not knowledge. Knowledge is power. Yes, no.
Yes.
Stronger the yes, more the sweets today. Yes, no.
Yes.
Knowledge is power.
Yes.
No. Knowledge is potential power. Applied knowledge is power. You know that if I put my finger into the socket, I will get shock. And then I still put it. What's the use of that knowledge? It's not power. It's still ruining my life. Knowledge I have and I'm utilizing it. Oh, my intrusive thought says put your finger in the socket. Then no, don't put your finger. That's the knowledge. I applied my knowledge. That is power. That's what saved me. So definitely, not simply having knowledge is not going to help us. Therefore, we need to seek association of someone who has realized this knowledge. Whatever we are talking about in Bhagavad Gita, that manasasthani indriyani prakriti sthani karshati. All your senses and mind, and Krishna is the, if we are, like, we belong to the family of Krishna. If Krishna is the whole, we are part. If Krishna is supreme, we are subordinate. We have to associate with someone who has realized these principles. Then what will happen? Then what will happen? He will engage us in devotional service. Now we will say, we will just sit here in this room every Sunday and try to understand God. My dear friend, we are not able to understand physics. Prabhu, that's why probably gave up physics. Huh? We are not able to understand physics. Leave about understanding God. Therefore, understanding something by our own will is not possible. So that's why in the previous verse, Krishna is saying that the Lord reveals it to us. But for that, what we have to do? We have to saturate ourselves by transcendental service to the Lord. Why are we using this word service? In Bhagavad Gita, how many of you have read Bhagavad Gita? How many of you are reading Bhagavad Gita? How many of you want to read Bhagavad Gita? This is the best set of people I have in the class, because they want to read Bhagavad Gita. Right? So, in Bhagavad Gita, you will see the word bhakti has been translated as devotional service. Devotional service. What do you mean devotional service? Devotion. Who knows little Sanskrit and little English will say bhakti means devotion. What is this devotional service? Devotional service, because I say I love you. You will say, wow. What will you say?
Wow.
Then you will say, can you get me some water?
Yes.
I will say no. But you said I love you. Yeah, I love you. Can you get me water? No. Actually, can you get me some flowers? Shut up. I'm not going to do that. What is this kind of love where there is no service? A husband says to the wife that I love you. Wife says to the husband that I love you. Husband broke his leg. But he's saying, I don't know, take care of yourself. You do you, man. That's not how it's going to work. If the husband has a broken leg, the wife will say, come, I will take you to the bathroom. I will cook food for you. Leave over. Don't forget, I am going to take care of the bills. You just focus on taking care of your health. Love means service. And when you serve, when you serve with love, devotional service when you perform, then Krishna reveals the transcendental knowledge in your heart. That's why we sing every morning, Divya Gyan Hriday Prakashito. Prakash hota hai. It is revealed in your heart. Therefore, whoever is trying to understand, who is like, there are many people. I'm seeing Prabhu coming for our classes since last almost 2 years now. I have seen Adhoks Prabhu since my first year. Kaushal Prabhu coming with me, Sachin Prabhu coming before me. Saurav Prabhu coming since at least 2 years now. So there are people who are, Prabhu is coming since right after Brahma. Since after Brahma, he has been coming for our class. So see, we have this interest. We are coming and putting in effort. This Sunday, we could have done many things. Sunday is the day to rest and prepare for the next week. Still, we decide to come here and spend time with the monks. Why? Because we have interest in learning Bhagavad Gita. We have interest in knowing the transcendental knowledge, which can be known only by performing devotional service. When you perform service, the Lord is pleased and reveals the knowledge in your heart. You will be reading and you will actually understand what is perfection in Ashtanga Yoga. You will actually understand to an extent that you will be able to apply it. In Bhubaneswar, I am from Odisha. In Bhubaneswar, there is a guy who knows all the 700 verses of Bhagavad Gita. He has memorized all of them. 7 p.m. you go, his mouth will be smelling like alcohol. What's the point of knowing the Bhagavad Gita? Knowledge is power. Knowledge is not power. It's powerless. Because he's not able to apply that power. He's not able to apply that knowledge. Why? Because he's not in association. He's not performing devotional service. When you perform devotional service, that knowledge is revealed in your heart. When you get laid off, people have a lot of anxiety. We think that, people who are applying to jobs, they think my life will be successful once I get that email that says, congratulations, you have been hired. Actually, it is the end of one misery and the beginning of the other. Then comes the constant anxiety. What if I get laid off? What if I don't get another project? What if my visa is not sponsored? So many things go on in the background, right? So, therefore, when we are in such situations, it won't be like we will again get depressed and we will cry, oh my God, I don't know what's going to happen. Let me read some mundane books again. Do you have some alcohol? We are not going to go in that route. Because when we have revealed knowledge in our heart, suddenly the intelligence will tell the mind, hey, matra sparsastu kaunteya sitoshna sukha dukkhada agamapayano nityas tam titiksashva bharata. The appearance and disappearance of happiness and sorrow is just like change of season. It's a summer and winter. अभी सर्दी हो रही फिर से गर्मी होगी, गर्मी हो रही फिर से ठंडी लगेगी. So what is there to be worried about? What's that one sentence that can make a happy person sad and a sad person happy? This too shall pass. ये वक्त भी बीत जाएगा. So all these informations that we are learning now, when it is revealed in our heart, it will strike our head at the right moment when it is needed. So that is why it is important to serve, to perform devotional service, because then Krishna will reveal this knowledge in our heart. A Krishna conscious person has realized knowledge, because that knowledge is revealed in the heart by the Lord, by the grace of Krishna. We have to understand that हम खुद को इतना देड़शाना नहीं समझना चाहिए. I'm just, because I don't know if there is over smart. That's the word I was looking for. No, we think, actually I'm so smart, I'm going to read 2-3 books and know God. You are not able to understand one single fragment that God created, it is physics. How can you say that physics, he created so many things, you are going to understand the creator of all those things? You cannot. We have to understand that we don't deserve to know Lord. We don't have the qualities to know the qualities of, we don't have the qualities to know the qualities of the Lord. But what we can have? A sincere desire. What we can have? Sincere desire. When you have a sincere desire, you show sincerity in your effort. And when you show sincerity in your effort, being pleased by your sincerity, being pleased by your earnest desire to know the Lord will grace you, will bless you with the knowledge of Himself. Am I making sense till now? Or do we have any questions? Go ahead.
So, as you said, right, whenever you go through anxiety and whenever you have these things, I understand, like when you tell, I have the knowledge, okay, that everything is granted by Krishna and it is mercy of Krishna. But in that moment, you still end up crying. It's a constant effort. Every hour, every 2 hours, you have to keep reminding it's Krishna's mercy, because it's a cycle of your brain, because your mind constantly keeps telling you, oh, how can you be happy in your misery? How can you be like let going of these things when you have a layoff coming for yourself?
Yeah.
Like how to get through that? Like I understand chanting, understanding again and again the concept of this knowledge, but what else can a person do? Because the instant thought is to cry only and to get into that anxiety.
Let's perform an activity. I guess I performed this activity in Newport. I don't remember. No, not in Newport. Okay. Thank God. It's going to be a new activity then. Place your palm between yourself and me in a way that I'm completely covered. Do it. Do it in a way that I'm completely covered. You are not able to see me at all. Right? Keep your hand over there. Move your head and look at me. Look at my tilak, my shawl. Look at my kurta, the yellow stains I have. Huh? Okay. Now look back to your hand, to your palm. Look at all the marks that you have, the lines, the fingers, the nail, whatever you can see in your palm. Okay? Put your hands down. When you were looking at me, were you able to look at your palm? When you were looking at your palm, were you able to look at me? The formula is simple. Whatever you focus on expands. You focus on the problem, the problem seems bigger. You seem on the solution becomes bigger. I completely understand when you say that the knowledge doesn't hit my head when it is needed.
Or it takes time.
Takes time to hit.
It's a recurring effort.
Yeah. Probably the reason is because the knowledge that we have is not realized in the heart. That's what we were discussing here. When the knowledge is realized in our heart, we will develop that firm faith on Krishna. We'll develop that firm faith. So there was this little girl sitting beside a man in a flight. There was a severe turbulence in the flight. Severe turbulence. Think of the worst turbulence you have ever been through. Think about it. Thought 10,000 more than that. That was the magnitude of the turbulence. Everyone was like, oh, where is my bead bag? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Someone told him, what? Anta kalascha mavev smaran muktva kalevaram. If you remember me at the time of death, I will deliver you. Let's do it. Someone is like, hey, mere bete ko let me send a text. Mummy ko, mom, no, I loved you. Everyone is sending their text, and everyone is anxious. Everyone is worrying. Then there was this little girl. She was sitting in the window seat. It's completely aram se she is sitting, not worried about anything, and she's reading her book comfortably. And this man sitting beside her, she is seeing him, he's seeing the girl, and he's becoming even more anxious. That what does this girl know that I don't? Then after the turbulence was over, everything was safe. The man asked, sir, my dear girl, what were you going through? How were you not anxious? The magnitude of turbulence we were happening, you would have died. Do you not have a family? Do you not have any fear? She said, sir, the pilot of this flight is my dad. Maybe for you, there was a chance that this flight won't land or it will crash. But I was very much certain that my dad would make sure that the flight lands safely. The little girl had that strong faith in her father that jo hoga acha hi hoga. How can my father not wish well upon me? Krishna confirms in Bhagavad Gita, Shruhuda Sarva Bhutanam, that I am your ever well-wisher. Right? So when we realize this knowledge, then we will be called as a Sthita Pragya. We won't be affected by the appearance and disappearance. Therefore, this is not there is no instant painkiller to this. We'll say, what should I do? I will say, okay, do this, you will be happy. No. It is not a medicine, it is a supplement. Like, when you eat a food supplement, you cannot see the result instantly. If you take a multivitamin, you cannot say, oh, actually, I had some problem with my knee. I ate one tablet and it went away. No, it won't happen. You have to keep taking it, keep taking it, keep taking it. And eventually you will see the pain is actually going away. I'm able to walk, I'm able to run. Similarly, when you perform devotional service, that's why it's a very important aspect. Whenever you get a chance to perform some service in the temple, always be excited. Always say yes. It should be always a question with yes and yes. Do you want to perform a service? Full stop. Yes, I want to perform a service. Right? So when we perform service, Krishna is pleased with our service. Oh, you washed my pots. Oh, you cleaned my temple. Oh, you helped with making some PPT. You helped with doing some marketing for Gita Life. Oh, wow, nice. So I'm going to help you. When you help him, he will help you. Jai jathamam prapadyante tams tatheva bhajami. To the degree you want to know me, to that degree I will reveal it to you. So when that knowledge is revealed in our heart, we are like a smooth sea. We are not affected by anything. I have seen so many examples. I've seen so many examples of people who have shown this to me, who have shown this, like when things are completely out of hand. I'm like, how can you think like that? They're like, sure, why not? Krishna's plan, Arjunan Prabhu. I've seen so many times. Like, thing will be as bad as I don't know how. Yeah, so this time recently he was visiting me in Indiana, and he was supposed to catch a flight from Indiana to New York. His flight got cancelled. He was supposed to take a Spirit Airlines flight, and it got cancelled. And he had monthly youth festival on Saturday. This was a Friday. So I'm standing there. I'm like, what? It's cancelled. So flight is at 12 o'clock. 11 o'clock, he gets a message that the flight is cancelled. Like, so what are we gonna do? Neither, like, how are you gonna sort this out? Even if we pay a fortune, we are probably not gonna catch a flight. Because, and you have to be there tomorrow because Samaksh Prabhu is not here. We need someone to manage. How are we gonna do it? Then he sat down and I said, wait, sit here. I want to chant one round. Trust me, those 7 minutes were the longest 7 minutes of my life. He was sitting there arams and chanting his rounds. And then he said, well, let's make a few calls. He called Adhoksh Prabhu, he called Chaityanand Prabhu, he called his network. Well, that's not working out. Okay, you leave. I'm going to figure it out. I had a class at 2:30 and the airport is almost 1 hour, 15 minutes, 1 hour, 20 minutes drive. I'm like, are you sure? I'm certain. Go. I said, okay, it's an hour and a half drive, but if you don't get a flight, I'm going to come back to pick you up. Okay. And he did not take prasad. He was just sitting there. And some insurance guy came. He met some insurance person. He did some insurance. He said, okay, book this flight. We are going to refund you for this flight and the flight you missed. So you got the full refund for the Spirit flight and a free flight back to New York. Things worked out. And he was not agitated. Why? Because he had the firm faith that Krishna is going to take care. And how this firm faith happened? By reading books? No. He has been performing devotional service in so long. That's what helped him. Therefore, by realized knowledge, one becomes perfect. The perfection you were talking about. Not being affected by the temporary appearance and disappearance of happiness and distress. Like when I got to know that, so during COVID I passed my 10th class. No, not during COVID. We had a cyclone happening in Odisha. So we had no internet, no electricity, nothing. And there was this one point by a bridge where you can go and use your mobile data and to check your marks, how much you got. I'm like, oh my God. And actually, like before 10th, I was not that good of a student. I was like 85%, 83, 83, 82. Even in my pre-boards, I was getting similar marks. Like, be 90 छू जाए, दोष कटेगा. And then I went, I checked. Oh wow, 94%. 84 to 94. Trust me, it was a 10 minutes walk. I was running and I was shouting throughout the street, 94%. I was shouting like that and I was running across because I was like happiness and distress. Then again, what happened? Few years down the lane, like 2 years down the lane, me and my friend both were applying to colleges. He got into he already got 2 acceptance. I did not even get 1 rejection from 1 college. No acceptance, no rejection. Like, I don't know, maybe I'm not going to college, it seems. I have to join my dad's business. I became anxious. Oh my God, what's going to happen? Am I not studying after this? Oh, maybe I have to, because I did not apply to any colleges in India as well. Because I did not have realized knowledge, I got affected. But Prabhu, on the other hand, he had realized knowledge. That knowledge was revealed in his heart. So what, flight, कोई बात नहीं, और एक flight आ जाएगा. But mere academic knowledge, but by mere academic knowledge, one can be easily deluded and confused by apparent contradictions. When we try to understand something by our you will say, okay, it says happiness and distress is temporary. Brother, I have been applying to jobs since 2021. How it is temporary? It seems almost a part of my life now. I am almost writing Laukik Nanda unemployed. How is it temporary? It seems almost permanent. So small contradictions we face in life, it is gonna shake our faith. But when we perform devotional service, there is a reciprocation. There is a reciprocation. If I say, that I will just, I would say it's an axiom that this person, this table is going to give you happiness. Gonna say, stop, shut up, and go home, right? As I say something sensible. How do you think this is a piece of table, this piece of teapot can give me happiness? The side table it is. Then I will say, actually, no. Try using it. Try keeping it by your side when you're giving a class. Try using this to place your laptop, sorry, when you are having an online meeting. Huh? Try to use it as a table lamp beside. And you say, okay, I'm going to keep it. You kept your laptop on it. Wow, you're perfectly visible. You're speaking, your hand is paining, you're able to keep your hand on it. You feel happy. So the reciprocation happens. Very mundane example. Similarly, when you serve Krishna, when you serve the Supreme, indulge in devotional service, there is a reciprocation. In college, I used to work hard. I mean, I'm still in college. I used to, as in when I'm going to go back day after tomorrow, I'm going to again work hard. But I used to become tired. And it was not something out of the world. Like my day used to begin around 8:30 a.m. and end around 7 p.m. I used to come back home at 7 p.m. like dead. I used to crawl back into the bed, crawl back into the apartment because I wouldn't be in the condition to walk. I was so tired. Here I work 10,000 more, 10,000 times more. Zoom is working properly. How do we check that? Like this? Oh wow, we have 0 participants. Either they understood, either they have the realized knowledge or they don't realize. Oh, the internet. Yeah. It's not me. So, where was I? Crawling back. I crawl back, and when I'm here, I'm working 10,000 times more. Go ahead. We are working 10,000. I'm working 10,000 times more. There, my day used to begin at 5:15. Here, it begins at 3:50. There, I used to cook just for myself. Here, at least twice a week, I cook for the whole ashram. And then there is we cook ashram, and then we go to Jersey City, Newport preaching programs. We do program there, come back around 11 o'clock, and we sleep. Many times it happens, but I don't feel tired. I feel nourished. I feel happy. I feel satisfied because there is a higher purpose to it. It's not that I'm doing something just for myself. So, to conclude, that we should not try to understand Krishna or his name, fame, qualities by or the teachings that he's trying to teach with the qualities that we have. Sorry for the interruption that we had. It was not me, I promise. It's the connection. With the qualities that we have. Rather, we should try to serve him, perform devotional service, so that being pleased by our sincere effort, he will grace, by his grace, he will reveal the knowledge in our heart. And then we will be able to understand. And when we are in a situation that has been discussed about in Bhagavad Gita, like we discussed a practical lesson about what if there is a layoff? What if I don't get a job? That knowledge is revealed in the heart because we will have firm faith in Krishna. My dear friends, this Bhagavad Gita is actually a very practical knowledge. It is a manual for every human being in this material world. Like when we get a phone, there comes a manual with it. If you don't use the manual, what will happen? You won't use it. You won't make the right use of it. Similarly, Bhagavad Gita teaches us how to make the right use of this human form of life. When we read it, we are able to do it. If we don't read it, we don't make enough use of this human life. Right? So, do we have any questions? No signal. Oh, we put it here. Any questions? Online, offline? Go ahead. Nitesh Prabhu.
How is it possible in today's times, like 2025, to still be participating in the material world? Like for those who have not entirely given it up, like were still participating in it, and still treats everyone as equal. Like pebble stone or gold, or as it will come in the next verse, like all kinds of good or bad people as same. Like like working. I mean, philosophically yes, but in real life working terms, how to safeguard oneself as well from people have are malicious and have
Right,
malicious intent or past or
right,
history or
right,
tendencies.
right. So basically, I'm going to repeat the question. Philosophically, you're saying me some bookish knowledge that see everyone as equal. No, no, I'm saying you're saying everyone is equal, but how it is applicable in practical life? I know Tarun Prabhu is saying, how can I be respectful? He says, अरे कब जाएगा ये 2 दिन से बेड लगा के रखा है मेरे साइड में. He has some ill thought about me. How do I still be a well wisher? How do I still see him as equal? Pandita Samadarshana. Brahmani Gavi Hastini. What's that verse? Anyone? Do you remember? Pandita Samadarshana. Basically, who is a Pandita, who is an intelligent person, he sees a dog, a man, a cow, a dog, and a dog eater in the same way. So how do we do that? Again, the solution is there in Bhagavad Gita. It's a clear verse. Manasasthani Indriyani. Verse begins. Mame Vamsho Jivaloke Jiva Bhuta Sanatana Manasasthani Indriyani Prakriti Sthani Karshati. Right. So it says that if there is a big reservoir and there is a water in it, what will be the chemical formula of the water? H2O. If you take 1 cup of water from there, what will be the chemical formula? H2O. Similarly, Krishna is whole and we are part. The living entities are part and parcel of Krishna. He is Sachidananda, we are also Sachidananda. So fundamentally, we are all same. We are not material beings trying to be spiritual. We are spiritual beings trying to be material. That's why we are miserable. Did I make sense or should I repeat? We are not material beings trying to be spiritual. We are trying to be material. Right? So similarly, the traits that they have, enviousness, jealousy, uh, cruelty, all those qualities the other person have, that which makes you, which doesn't make you feel like seeing him as a good person, is an acquired trait. He has collected those activities, those traits from this world. But fundamentally, he is not like that. Fundamentally, he is a member of your family. He is exactly as same as you. When you have this knowledge, you perform devotional service. Knowledge becomes what? Again, louder. Louder the response, more the sweets. Realized or revealed in your heart. When you have realized knowledge, that completely becomes applicable. That's why it is important that Vaisheshika Prabhu, one of our teachers in ISKCON, he says, read Srila Prabhupada's books scrutinizingly. When I read Srimad Bhagavatam, I make notes in the spaces in the side. I give a subtopic to this verse. What does this verse talk about? Okay, Narada living home. Then no distraction. So there is a verse when Narada is going through different places, he is not bothered. Okay, no distraction. Scrutinizingly, make some notes. Talk, discuss with people, discuss with your seniors. What did you read? That's what we do. Sometimes when we sit and we are eating, so Prabhu, what are you reading nowadays? Actually, I'm reading about this pastime. When we discuss it with people, you churn that. When you churn, it gives you more realizations. When you get realizations, you got conviction to perform devotional service. You perform devotional service, knowledge is revealed in your heart. When it is revealed, it becomes a part of yourself. It becomes a part of your personality. And when you are in a similar situation, by reflex, you say, hey, don't get bothered. He's just as same as me. He just has some acquired qualities. Am I making sense?
But how will that safeguard? How will that safeguard you?
How can you protect? See, for example, somebody is coming and murdering you.
Right.
Okay, so you somehow escape from him. But every time you can't face it, right? You have to escape from him. You can't just say accept that okay, he's the same and he did something wrong to me. So I can't keep on having relation with him, right? So you have to part away from him. He has some bad qualities. Maybe all the 4 regulative principles he don't follow.
Right.
So how can we be practical in this?
Well, if there is a threat to your life, please stay away. Like, no, Pandita Samadarshana, come kill me. Let's embrace the death. Let's be practical. So, see, when you're like, okay, someone is breaking a regulative principle. I am friends with Jayant Prabhu. Jayant Prabhu is an elevated soul, and you're like, I'm indulged in all meat eating, gambling, and everything. You're like, how can he still see Laukik as the same person? Well, you don't have to associate with me, but you can still wish well upon me, right? You don't have to come hang out with me every weekend. You don't have to hang out with me twice a day, but still you can just pray for me that, oh my Lord, please give some intelligence to that guy, so that he changes, his heart changes, and he doesn't indulge in those activities. So that's how you do. Now, I will give you a nice example. There was this guy in my college. He was American, and he used to ask me questions, but never come for my sessions, or never, he was a very good guy, but he used to work in a bar, and he was like, they gave me free alcohol. How can you say no to free alcohol? I'm like, I wish. I'm like, what do I do? So I used to tell him, okay, do one thing. I go to farmers market every Saturday to get vegetables. You go there, and when you're there, we can talk for 5-10 minutes. And after that, let's see how it goes. So I never took his association. I never said, I will meet you in the bar. I will say, meet me, come somewhere and meet me there. So we used to meet in the farmers market. We used to talk for 5-10 minutes. This went on for 6 months. 6 months. We used to meet 10 minutes every Saturday. 10 minutes every Saturday. Then I used to pray. I used to come back. Every time I will be driving back from there, I will like, oh Krishna, please give him some intelligence. May he leave that job. And something happened last semester. He voluntarily gave up the job. Like, bro, they are not paying me much. I'll just work somewhere here on campus. I will make money. He made money. He started coming for my Friday programs, 7 p.m. So what happened? I did not take his association. I gave him my association. I did not listen to what he's saying, like mundane, basically. I used to hear his problems. Well, you have a problem? Yeah, I'm there for you. But tell me, hey, bro, Friday, let's go. There is a party. Yeah, I'm busy. I never took his association. I gave him my association, and I wished well upon him. I used to pray for him, and that changed his heart. Similarly, you don't have to go and hang out with them. You don't have to go and say, you don't have to embrace your murderer. You have to stay away from him, and still you can wish well upon him that, how can he do this to me? If he's, how can he do this to anyone? May Krishna give him some intelligence that he becomes a better person. Similarly, what happened with Ratnakar? Ratnakar, what was he doing? Dashwa Ratnakar. He was to kill people. But what Narad Muni did, he gave him knowledge. He had to stop doing that. And Narad Muni prayed for him. And when Guru and Krishna blesses you, there is a change in your heart. Things will happen the same. You won't be able to see. When there is mercy, when there is grace, you will be able to see the things the way they are. Then Dashwa Ratnakar became Valmiki. Right? Am I making sense? Or we can discuss more on about this during dinner. Okay. Any more questions? Anything else? Or should we chant? We are going to chant one round. It's going to take 7 to 8 minutes. Huh? We have to chant and sing. Yeah. So we are going to chant together. So basically, how many of you are here the first time again? You are here, and you both have been here before. Oh, and the new guy we have. You should sit in the front. I'm not able to see that you are sitting there. Huh? So when we are chanting, you might say, okay, what is this new thing that you're talking to me about? Is this difficult? Is this hard? How do I do it? It is as simple as chant in a way that you can hear yourself and pay all your attention to hear what you're speaking. So speak and hear. Two things you have to do. What?
Speak and hear. Speak and hear.
What? Chant audibly and hear what you're chanting. Don't think about anything else. Leave all the problems and everything beside. For next 8 minutes, you are just performing two things. What? Speak and hear. Right? Maybe I will also need one bead proof. Initiated me now.